Hi guys, welcome back to my video. In this video, we're going to be doing this very easy sun-kissed makeup look. It's really been one of my favorite looks lately, so I had to share the routine. So let's get into the tutorial. Starting off, my skin is already nice and prepped. Look how glowy it is. I always say this, but skin prep is key, especially for makeup looks like this. If you want to see my routine, check out the video linked above. I also have some brown contacts in. They're so pretty. I love how it matches my hair color. So to start off, I'm going to go in with a super glowy primer. This specific primer, the Say Glowy Gel, this is really going to give you that maximum glow. It's not shimmery, it just kind of looks like your face is wet. So putting that underneath any foundation, even if it's a matte one, it just instantly makes it glowy and your skin looks super radiant. Going in with my foundation, I'm now in my summer shade, so it's a little bit darker. I'm applying it a little bit lighter than normally. For such a soft makeup look like this, the foundation doesn't have to be too full coverage and heavy, just enough to go in and cover up my dark marks. It's very key that you have a foundation that matches you as perfectly as it can, because I don't use any brightening concealers or anything. Just a foundation is good enough, and that's what really gives the natural skin-like effect. I know a lot of people can be weary, but foundation under the eyes isn't really that big of a difference from concealer, although it can be a little bit heavier depending on the coverage, so make sure that you're not using too much. I like to go in with a light amount and then just use my flat brush to go over it, and that makes sure that I get maximum coverage while my under eyes don't look too cakey or heavy. To add a little bit to that warm look, I'm going in with a small amount of bronzer. This isn't something I'm too specific with, it's just to add a little bit of color to the edges of my face, especially because of hyperpigmentation. My skin is already darker in those areas, so by matching my natural skin color, it makes it look even more skin-like. Also, make sure to add a little bit of extra on my nose, not for nose contour, but again, just adding warmth. It can give a little flat when the nose is just one base color with no dimension. Now, do you see the base? She is glowing. For blush, I'm using this kind of neon-y, orangey, pinky color. I'm applying it straight to the apples of my cheeks, a little bit under my eyes. You have to make sure to put the blush on the nose. That's what really gives it that flushed look too, and it makes it match the blush placement so well. When you're using such a bright color, you need to make sure to blend the edges out so it looks like it's literally just your skin. To make it look even more skin-like, I'm gonna lightly put it on the edges of my face, specifically my forehead. It just makes it look like you're flushing naturally and you're glowing from within. To add even more glow, we're gonna go in with a liquid highlighter and placing that right on top of the blush. Now, this is an extra step, but I'm telling you, this will make your skin shine. And any color works, but I recommend using a rose gold color like the one I'm using because it really blends well with the blush. And to finish off the base makeup, for now, we're gonna go in with a little bit of powder. Always make sure to blend out your under eyes before you go in with powder. This is the number way to prevent creasing immediately, and keep your eyes up, like up, up, up. When you're setting your under eyes with powder, you're setting whatever is there. So if you have creases when you're putting your setting powder there, you're just setting the creases in place. One thing to note about the setting powder placement is I'm keeping it really close to my nose. I'm making sure to do my under eye, of course, but I'm not going all over the blush. That's because I'm trying to keep that area as dewy looking as possible. And for the forehead, make sure that it's a light set. You don't want it to be too different from your under eyes. One of the key products for a blurred under eye is pressed powder. I'll always swear by it. I just like to go over where I put the setting powder with my pressed powder. Pressed powder is a little bit thicker than setting powder, and this one is also colored, so it gives a little bit of coverage. Now, even though I tried to avoid the blush, we still went over a little bit, so just make sure you go back over with your blush to make sure that color is coming through. This is very important because I promise you the color will be very dulled by the powder. Just look how pretty the base is. Like, it's giving natural, sun-kissed everything. Now let's get into the eyebrows because this is very important for such a minimalistic look. To start off, I'm going in with some warm tone eyeshadow. That is very important because it is such a warm look. We kind of want it to match. I'm just going to run it through my brow hairs. This is just going to act as the base color for everything else we're going to put on top of it. To get more detailed, my favorite product is a brow pen. These really help you give you super natural looking brows because it draws on all those tiny little fine hairs. So I place them in the areas where I have the least amount of brow hairs, and it adds thickness without making the brows too dark and blocky, which is why I really love it. And to just finish it off very lightly, I'm going in with some brow gel just to hold them in place. I don't know about you guys, but my brow hairs are all over the place sometimes, so this just keeps them in check. It just gives a very clean, neat look to the brows, which goes perfect with this makeup style. Now for the eyes, it's gonna be super simple. Going in with some light colored warm tone browns again. I'm just going to lightly blend it all over my eyes. Just like the eyebrows, this is going to act as a base base shade. I especially make sure to put it on my under eyes. It can look really weird sometimes when you have such a natural looking base, but your under eyes are completely covered with one color. The brown on the bottom just makes everything look more natural and dimensional to your face. But to make the eyes a tiny bit more interesting, we're gonna go in with a dark warm tone brown shade and just make a very soft smoked out liner. So you're just gonna do this by taking a small fluffy brush and doing a winged eyeliner shape. But as you can see, it's not very specific. It's very light-handed. We basically want the look of the winged liner, but not an actual wing liner. It just adds a little something to your eyes so they're not so flat. But the star of the eye makeup look is really the mascara. We want our eyelashes to be giving long, luscious, thick, and very natural looking. So just do a couple coats of mascara. You really don't want too much. We don't want it to look fake. My favorite way to ensure that they don't is brushing them out just a little bit with a spoolie. That way they're not so clumped together and it looks a little bit more natural. For highlighter, I like to use this bronzy eyeshadow stick and just put a little bit in the inner corner. Very lightly though, you don't want it to be very defined. That's why I'm blending it out with my finger. It should just be a little speckle, not like an insane amount of glitter. I also like to use it as an eye topper to grab some attention to my eyelids. Then as a little bit of nose highlighter, it just works so perfectly. And to reinforce the cream bronzer that I use on my nose, which did dull a little bit from the powder, I'm going back over it with a little bit of powder bronzer, again for the same reasons, to add some warmth to the nose. Now this step you cannot skip unless you already have them naturally. Faux freckles, they completely make the look and it just makes you look even more sun-kissed. It just adds so much to the look. So to do this, I just use my brow pen and go over my nose and a little bit over my cheeks with these tiny little dots. Make sure that 1, you don't choose a color that's too dark. 2, you place them all over the place, not too specific. And 3, you blend them out with your finger. This is going to make them fade a little bit more. It's going to make it look very natural. Now to get that dew and glow back to the skin and look super healthy and refreshed, I'm using a cream dewy highlighter, and this is completely clear, so it just gives that dewy look to the skin. Basically like lip gloss, but in cream form. So you're just going to add a little bit of this on your fingers or with a brush. I like fingers better because it comes off very natural. You're going to put it on the high points of your face, so on your cheekbones, a little bit on the nose, and also go a little bit above your eyebrows. We're trying to put it on spots where the sun naturally hits your face, and this is one of the highlighted areas. So doing this in all the different areas makes it look like your whole face is very glowy, not just your cheeks. And for one of the best parts, the lip combo, it's actually very simple, especially for me. I'm using a very sheer, subtle red lip gloss. It just acts as a very nice base with a little bit of a tint of red, pinky color to your lips. Then going in with a darker orangey type color and putting this in the center of the lips and blending out. It adds a little bit of a darker color, so a little bit more depth into the look, so it's not just one flat color. And to top it off, to make my lips look a little bit bigger, a little bit more plumper, but very natural, I'm going to use a soft brown lip liner that matches my natural lip and just overline it slightly. I love to do my lip liner after because it's such a slight little wash of color versus doing it first, which is very intense. And it blends in really easy with the lip gloss, making it look super soft. Now the final step of this look is a dewy setting spray. I don't use this for any long lasting reasons, but it gives a beautiful dewy glowy finish to the entire face, and it's just the best finisher for any dewy glowy makeup look. And this is the finished look. It's so pretty. I literally feel like I should be on some sort of island. It's just so yummy and cute. I hope this tutorial helped. Make sure to like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye!